All right, we are back with, I think, like my seventh vault video at this point. We're going to do it a little differently. I don't have a ton of vaults to open, but I do want to spend some time talking about what's going to be available this week. We are in a new patch, technically. Obviously, if you've been around the block, you know that generally patches have a lot of content going on. This time around, there isn't a lot. A lot of it's being relatively time gated, which can be concerning. There are a few things to do. I'm relatively indifferent because the reason I enjoy this game is for Mythic Plus. Every week we're still gaining power. We know that there's things to come in the future patches, so I'm not really all that stressed. I think some of the cosmetic shit is actually really cool, but I'm going to open up, I think, both my Warriors Vault and my Brewmaster's Vault in this video, and I'm also going to kind of show off some of the new content. So last week, I definitely took a lot of time off. I don't know why I can't move my camera around. I am trying to click and drag. This is very weird. Oh well, we're just not going to be able to move our camera at all. I took last week off. Do I have to? Oh, I'm going to have the keyboard turn to get to my vault then. So I took last week off. I didn't do a ton of high keys. I kind of threw some stuff against the wall to see what stuck at the end of like last night, basically. But pretty much the reason I'm not going to open up a lot of vaults in this video also is because I just didn't do a lot last week. And you're going to see from my Warrior Vault that I really didn't do that much. We are going to be opening this up. We're just double checking that we are in the protection specialization. I don't really need all that much gear. A lot of my gear is already on the mythic track. Maybe like a new cloak would be good. I do have mythic hands in my bags already, but basically, or like maybe boots, I guess. But a lot of my gear is already on the mythic track or crafted. So honestly, we're getting to that point in the season where I don't really need that much. I can't even open my vault. Part of me thinks it's my weak aura. Can I just have this like load never? What add-on is blocking me from... Hold on. Hold on. Let me just update my add-ons, I guess. What add-on is mouse? What add-on could possibly be making me not be able to turn? Oh no. Okay. Disable all add-ons, I guess. All right, cool. Anyways, we are really looking for basically myth track items. Of course, as you can see right off the rip, we're actually getting a pacemaker. Pacemaker is a really, really good trinket for the protection warrior. Mine, of course, has speed on it, which is awesome. Of course, my ult gets it. If we take a look over at Murloc.io, this is just a site, I use this in almost every single vault video. You can see that Pacemaker is being ran by the majority of players, and also Tome of Light's Devotion is providing a pretty solid damage increase as well. So I don't think there's a world where I don't take this. The weapon actually isn't bad either. This is a Mechagon weapon. Unfortunately, I do have a crafted item already in the slot, so I'm probably not going to take this, even though it could go technically a little bit higher in item level, and the stats would be relatively similar, except this weapon from the vault has higher haste. Pretty good, except I think I'm going to go with Trinket just because I do have a crafted weapon with an embellishment on it. If it didn't have an embellishment, it might be different circumstances. I can always change the embellishment too, but yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about a 3 item level loss on this, where I'd rather just be able to take C4 and Pacemaker, which is awesome. And last but not least, I guess I have the seal in here. It's crit mastery with speed. Probably not gonna take it, but delves are kind of OP because if these were both bad, I could take sockets, and that delve slot actually would allow me to do that. So we're gonna be taking this trinket, which is awesome. Now, my only concern is that I don't think I have another trinket that would allow me to upgrade anything else for free, because I don't think I have anything else at a mythic item level, and I don't know if these are technically now different IDs because they are the same trinket, and it's actually at a lower item level now. Hold on, let me see if this works. So I can upgrade this for free up to this. Can I do the same with like Scrapfield? No, so it doesn't count as a new trinket, so I can't even upgrade my other trinkets for free because I took this, which is kind of shitty, just a little bit, but I'm not going to complain too much because a Mythic Track C4 and Pacemaker is great. I believe we get an extra craft this week as well. Dude, my keybinds are so fucked. I don't have any add-ons enabled right now. Okay, so it seems to be OPI. OPI is currently causing the right mouse button not to work. That's very good to know. I was a little nervous there's going to be something like Shadowed Unit Frames or Bartender or something like that, but we have figured it out. Anyways, you should have an additional Spark this week, which is pretty good. I don't believe we get another Catalyst. Yeah, so it should be Spark, which means you can craft an item this week. Players are getting to the point where chances of you crafting is probably still pretty low. Earlier on, you wanted like embellishments and stuff. And at this point, you know, you got through your embellishments. You might have crafted like a really good ring if there weren't two good rings in the dungeon pool for you, or maybe you crafted a piece that was just low item level, like maybe a cloak or boots or belt. But we're now kind of getting to the point where a lot of the things you're going to be able to craft won't really matter. Or maybe it's a very minor upgrade. So crafting this week is a small power gain if you need it. But at the same time, if you're still looking like and hoping for vault, there's chances you'll get something else somewhere else is high. That made no sense. Holy. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that crafting is, you do get a craft, but the value of that crafted item is going to be a lot lower this week than it was in previous weeks. Let's swap over to the Brewmaster, though. All right, very cool. I am a bunny. I can't mount up because my mount keybinds are attached to Opie. But hopefully Opie has an update soon. I love the Opie add-on, but if I can't mount, I'm going to just have to go back to some old school shit. My Brewmaster is probably the only tank that I did a lot on. We did end up re-clearing all of the raid, and not only did we re-clear all of the raid up to our current prog point, but we also killed a prog boss. So I was able to kill at least 4 mythic bosses, which included the first 3 plus Sprocket, and then my warrior ended up actually killing Styx, but I didn't get a second kill, so I didn't get a mythic vault slot on my warrior. I'm going to be probably raiding on my warrior a little bit more going forward in mythic, because my Brewmaster now at this point doesn't really need a lot of loot. Plus, we can kind of still maybe assume that we're going to be getting Dinar at some point in the near future, whether that's in the next week or in 10 weeks. At some point, we're getting Dinar, and the thing that I would want from Dinar, like, I don't need to kill the boss for. Anyways, let's check out our vault. I will be opening this up in Brewmaster. For those who know me or have been watching me stream, I am still missing Tome of Light's Devotion. I would really like that. Another thing I would really like is a decent weapon. My weapons, I do have capos, which I really do like, but I don't have Mythic Trek weapons right now, which is kind of holding my damage back a little bit. And outside of that, I mean, I don't really care for anything else. I have crafted gear, I have Mythic gear in most slots, except for gloves. Actually, Mythic Trek gloves from the raid wouldn't be terrible as long as they're the actual token, because they'll be actually a higher item level than what I have, so it'll save me crests. Everything else I pretty much have a set. I will probably be crafting a neck this week, or maybe a ring. I haven't decided yet. I really like the idea of crafting a neck because I think my verse is a little, or my crit's a little bit too high, and I'd like just more versatility. So, anyways, let's open this up and prepared to be disappointed. Wait, hold on. Loot spec, Brewmaster. Okay, we're good. Please. Oh! All right, terrible. Okay, let's talk about this. These shoulders are, I believe, from like first or second boss. Pretty terrible. They would be okay if I didn't already have Mythic Track shoulders that are maxed out. So I'm not going to be taking these. I could take them for Transmog, but probably won't. Crowd favorite. This would be a side grade, but it would allow me to upgrade my offhand on the Mythic Track, which I think would be fairly solid. This is the weapon that I've been kind of chasing after. Like I said, my crit is still, like, I think my crit's a little too high. I'd like it to be a little lower. I don't want to go too close to 30. I like being around the 33, 34% mark. Being at 36 puts me in a position where if I run Sephorium, for example, my crit, once I start hitting things early in combat, I kind of like hit a diminishing return, which I don't really like hitting that early. So crowd favorite would open that up a little bit more. Again, Mythic Track weapon is just better. And my end goal is to be running crowd favorite or Starforge Seraph's Mace with a Mythic Capos, hopefully from the Dinar system. But for the time being, we're going to be rocking this. So I actually don't mind seeing this weapon. This is a good option. We also have Haste Mastery Bracers. Now, I do have Mythic Bracers crit haste that are maxed out. So probably wouldn't want to run these. They're pretty good, if not best in slot for Windwalker. Probably not going to take them, though. We also have Azarok's Resonating Heart. Now, this trinket, I think, is a little sleeper, but also, at the same time, it's really bad. Basically, at maxed out Mythic Track, it's going to give you close to 20k agility. And for any big math whizzes out there, that's like a 30% increase on your agility stat. That's a ton. It's like 25 to 30% agility increase for that 15-second window. Now, this trinket does have an internal cooldown, but it also can proc back to back. Like, it doesn't stay true to said internal cooldown. And if you happen to proc this during a Weapons of Order window, this can be very, very strong. You're sacrificing the main stat stick of agility for the mastery stat stick, which is much weaker. But this trinket's kind of sleeper. I really like this, but I'm probably not going to take it only because I think I value the crowd favorite a little bit more. Lastly, we do have a haste heavy ring with crit. This would be great for, I know any DPS player watching, or really any player watching this, probably is drooling over this ring right here.
Very good ring for most classes, very bad for Brewmaster. It would be really good for Mistweaver. It'd be okay for Windwalker, though you do want to go really heavy mastery. And then lastly, I do have a necklace, which is super mastery heavy. Again, really good for Windwalker. It is a piece of heroic gear, so I probably won't take it because it's on the hero track. Plus, mastery haste, bad for Brew. So I think my best option is crowd favorite. If I didn't have any other option, I would probably take Azarax Resonating Heart to play with. But I think for the time being, I think we're going to be going with the crowd favorite. So this kind of leaves me in a spot where I don't know exactly if I need to raid anymore on this character. Now, if my guild needs a Brewmaster or needs the monk buff, I'm more than happy to oblige. But if we look at the first boss, I don't need Pit Whistle. I don't need the feet anymore. The back I would catalyze, but I don't really need. The shoulders I don't need, and the staff I actually have. I have right here, so I'm not terribly stressed out about the weapon because I already have it. Second boss, the only thing I really would like is the gloves because it would save me crests and it would fill out pretty much the last hero track of gear that I have. We also have Rick Reverb. I don't need any of this gear. Sticks, I don't need any of this gear. Sprocket, I don't need any of this gear. And then One Arm Bandit, like the weapon, of course, would be good, but we're not going to kill. We haven't even started prog on this yet, so I can't really assume that this is going to come into play. I would like the ring with set stats, but again, if we kill on Mythic, it probably won't drop with the right stats, and even if it does, it won't go to me. So there's like, I don't think I need to raid anymore. The only thing that I would maybe want is the token from, of course, Cauldron to save crests and get the Mythic Track gloves, because I don't think Mythic Track gloves drop anywhere else until you get to Mugsy. So it's gonna be a long time. All right, so that's kind of where my gear is looking. What I think I'm gonna end up doing is I believe if I upgrade, maybe I'm wrong about this, but if I upgrade my two-handed stick, it should give me the free upgrade on this. And whenever I get an additional Mythic Track weapon, I should just be able to upgrade it for free because this is taking over both slots. So I might consider that. But basically, my character's pretty much geared out outside of the fact that I don't have a tome yet. It's now week 8. Yeah, I'm not too disappointed with this vault. It's fine. All right, so let's talk about the patch. So as most players probably know, is that there's not a lot going on. The content patch for 11.1.5 is relatively time gated. While I personally don't think it's necessarily the biggest issue, I understand that it's a little frustrating to log in to a game you pay for monthly on patch day and not really have anything to do. So when you look at it from that angle, it's obviously a little disappointing. The main event is actually going to be down in the in that one zone of Hollowfall. So as you can see, there's a lot of people taking the flight down here. So the big event is this Radiant Call quest. I automatically had it when I logged in. I don't know if I accepted it and I didn't notice. And all this event is it's like a world event similar to any other 0.5 patch we've seen in the past, where basically every hour or so, there's some Spider-Men who come up from the ground. They attack these people, these poor, innocent Arathi people. And basically what you do is you do some quests, some weeklies, some dailies, and you get a currency. And that currency is then used for transmog appearances and catch-up gear. The thing that we also have access to is the Winds of Mysterious Fortune. This is a reputation and EXP increase. So this is going to allow you to gear alts faster, to get characters up to level 80 quicker, to level even just from 0 much faster or through specific zones. It's allowing players to go back and get rep from different like factions through Dragonflight and the War Within zones. All in all, I think this is a really good patch for a very low-key kind of good patch for, I think, just like collectors in general. As you can see here, there's like, there's rep to be earned here. There's champion gear. There's these cool mounts, these lynxes that are geared up with the kind of newer Arathi skin. Now this armor is relatively kind of, I guess it depends on how you look at it. I really, really like the look of the new gear. I'll show it off in a second once I accept all these quests. But as you can see, as you do these quests, you're going to get this Flame Radiance reputation, and you're going to get some resonance crystals. This is really a collector patch, though. This isn't really meant for anyone who's like pushing high keys. But as you can see here, when you complete these dailies and weeklies, you're going to get this cultist bag. And these bags, or the weeklies, will contain these tokens, the Radiant Emblem of Service, and then you can buy champion track gear.
Now, this armor is specific to whatever, if you're like leather, plates, cloth, mail. But it's, I think, really good looking recolors of the Arathi sets. I've always really liked like the black and white in most video games. I think Blizzard did a really good job with these sets. If you're someone who's trying to play an alt, this is easy way to get 636 gear to kind of catch them up to start doing some kind of mid-range keys, mid-range content. There's also some weapons that are available as well in this cool like purpley tint. And it's not just for transmog. They are items that have cool effects on them, on top of the fact that they are also catch-up gear for alts. So yeah, you can pretty much come down to here, do some of these weeklies, and just vibe out, I guess. Welcome to the field. So you're going to get this thing. Major faction unlocked. Yeah. So that's all that's really going on. I know it's not the most exciting feature. When people hear about a patch, they think that there's going to be a lot of new content. And normally, there have been patches in the past that are like this, where they feel time-gated, or there doesn't feel like there's a lot to do. This is definitely one of those patches. And more content's going to be coming out over the couple of weeks. I think if you're someone who's into gearing up alts, just likes to collect things, I think this is a pretty good, I think it's actually not a terrible batch for that. So yeah, I don't know, enjoy the kind of collecting. Obviously, keys are still around, the raid's still around. Hopefully we hear about some new content soon regarding like the Dinar, as well as some of the other content like horrific visions and such, and the dastardly duos. But for now, enjoy it. Enjoy kind of the break while you can, because we're going to be getting some more content here soon. Anyways, good luck in your vaults. Good luck in your keys this week, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.